All right, welcome back, everyone. We're diving into a topic today that's pretty close to home, so to speak.
Close to home, literally.
Exactly. We're going to be talking all about bones.
Yeah, fascinating stuff.
You sent us this great YouTube video, so we're using that to kind of guide our deep dive. And we're going to explore how they work, how they heal.
How to keep them healthy.
Yeah, all that good stuff. Now, I got to admit, when I think about bones, I kind of picture, like, these static structures just holding us up.
Right, like scaffolding.
Yeah, exactly. But they're actually so much more dynamic than that, right?
Oh, absolutely. They're living tissue, constantly changing and adapting.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. We all know the human body has, what, 206 bones? Something like that?
206, yep, that's the magic number.
And they do all the important things, right? Like support our bodies, allow us to move, protect our organs.
Exactly. Without them, we'd be, well, a puddle on the floor.
Pretty much. But here's the thing that blew my mind. They're not just sitting there. They're constantly being broken down and rebuilt.
It's like a constant construction zone going on inside our bones.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, it's called remodeling. We have these specialized cells, osteoclasts, which break down old bone tissue.
Okay.
And then osteoblasts come in and build up new bone. It's a pretty amazing process.
So it's not just about how many bones we have, but how healthy they are.
Exactly. It's like a bank account, really.
A bone bank.
Yeah, think of it that way. We reach what's called peak bone mass between the ages of 18 and 25.
That's like the maximum amount of bone density we'll ever have.
Exactly. And the more we deposit in our bone bank early on, the better off we'll be later in life.
Because those withdrawals start happening as we age, right?
Unfortunately, yes. Especially for women after menopause, bone loss can become a real issue, leading to things like osteoporosis.
Right, which makes bones weaker and more prone to fractures.
Exactly. So building up that bone bank early on is crucial.
So how do we make those deposits? What can we do to build strong bones?
Well, nutrition plays a big role.
What kind of stuff should we be eating?
Calcium and vitamin D are key.
So like dairy products, leafy greens?
Exactly. And you can get vitamin D from sunlight or supplements if you need to.
Got it. So healthy diet is a good start. But you also mentioned that bone is constantly remodeling itself in response to stress.
That's right.
And I think a lot of people associate stress with, bad things,
Yeah, that's understandable. But in this case, we're talking about physical stress.
like from exercise.
Exactly. When you put stress on your bones through weight-bearing exercises, it actually makes them stronger.
It's kind of like lifting weights to build muscle, but for our bones.
Perfect analogy. Weight-bearing exercise signals to the bone, hey, we need to be stronger to handle this load.
So what kind of exercises are we talking about here?
Anything that forces you to work against gravity. So walking, running, dancing.
Hiking, climbing stairs.
Yes, all of those. Even just standing up more throughout the day can help.
Right, because sitting all day is not doing our bones any favors.
Not at all.
So it sounds like even if you're not a hardcore athlete, there are still plenty of ways to keep your bones healthy.
Absolutely. Every little bit helps. And it's never too late to start.
Now, let's say someone does have a little mishap and breaks a bone. What happens then?
Well, bones are actually pretty amazing healers.
I mean, we've all seen those x-rays of broken bones that look pretty gnarly.
It can be, yeah. But the healing process is pretty remarkable. There are 4 main stages to it.
Okay, walk us through it.
All right, so first there's inflammation and blood clotting at the fracture site.
That makes sense. Got to stop the bleeding and stabilize the area.
Exactly. Think of it like the body sending in the first responders.
Okay, what's next?
Next comes soft callus formation. This is where fibrous tissue and cartilage start to bridge the gap between the broken ends.
Like building a temporary bridge over the break.
Exactly.
So how does that temporary bridge become solid bone?
That's the third stage, hard callus formation. Over several weeks, the soft callus is gradually replaced by harder, bony callus. Remember those osteoblasts we talked about earlier?
The bone builders?
Yeah, they're the stars of this stage. They lay down new bone, essentially knitting the broken ends back together.
So the bone is basically healing itself from the inside out.
Pretty much.
But it's probably not perfect yet, right?
Right. It's still a bit rough around the edges. That's where the final stage remodeling comes in.
Okay, so this is where the bone gets smoothed out and refined.
Exactly. Over months or even years, the bone remodels itself, restoring its original shape and strength.
And this is where weight-bearing exercise becomes super important again, right?
Absolutely. By putting controlled stress on the healing bone, we're helping it remodel properly.
It's like physical therapy, but for the bone.
I like that, yeah. It's all about giving the bone the right signals to rebuild itself stronger than before.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. We've learned that bones are dynamic, living structures, they require proper nutrition,
Weight-bearing exercise is key.
and they have this amazing ability to heal themselves. But let's go back to the idea of peak bone mass for a second. If someone didn't, you know, deposit enough in their bone bank early on, are they just stuck with weaker bones forever?
Not necessarily. While it's ideal to maximize bone density early in life, you can still take steps to improve bone health at any age.
Okay, that's good to know. So what can people do later in life to strengthen their bones?
Well, regular exercise is still important. A balanced diet with plenty of calcium and vitamin D is crucial. And in some cases, medications can help slow bone loss and even stimulate new bone growth.
So there's hope for all of us, even if we weren't, chugging milk and jumping rope every day in our youth.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that there are tests like bone density scans that can help assess our bone health
Right. Those can help identify any potential problems early on.
and guide preventative measures. So knowledge is power when it comes to bone health.
All right, so as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of bones, here's something to think about. Knowing that our bones are constantly responding to the stresses we put on them.
And remodeling themselves based on those stresses.
What choices can we make today to ensure that our skeleton stays strong and healthy for years to come? Food for thought. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.
See you then.